the Christian Beer Show.
Let's do it.
Romina, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Christian.
I know we had some audio-visual difficulties, but it looks perfect right now. So
Thank you. Great.
yeah, I think we're ready. So before we were talking a little bit about, okay, let me introduce you, Romina Icaza.
Yep.
We met in Ecuador, and you're a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I miss you.
yeah, and you do a lot of stuff. You have a super interesting life. You're a journalist. You're a photographer. Pretty good photographer. Pretty good journalist too. You've been
Thank
in.
you.
Not only are you a journalist,
Yeah,
but you've
yeah.
been in these very intense journalism papers, right? I know there's this hardcore, violent paper that you used to work on, and you used to go
Yes.
to really like
The extra.
the extra. Yeah. So tell us the story about the extra.
Oh, well, when I was like 17, I started to study journalism. And I figured out that I really like the newspapers for the pictures. So I began to take pictures to doing my homework for the university. So someone saw my pictures and offered me like a practice for 1 month, only for 1 month. And it was the Diario Expreso. And the other newspaper they had, it was a group. It was the Extra that was really violent and also has the Lunes Sexy, the naked girl. So I
Sexy
used to take
Mondays.
photos of murder people and sexy girls naked. Was really, really crazy.
Oh, that's an interesting contrast. Huh.
Yes, I was like 17, 18 years. Was really shocking, but also a really good experience. Like I could. That offers me the opportunity to see my country and also the world in other ways and in a big I don't know, it's like you can be in the news, not only see it or read it. You can be in the news, like you feel it. Sometimes you have to take part of that, but because that affects you in some way, and it obviously gives you the, I don't know how to say it, the vision of yourself too. Like you can see your inner stuff through the things that you are, I don't know, taking the pictures, writing about. I don't know if if you understand me.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Now it's interesting because you could be taking pictures in a normal newspaper, but we're talking about a very sensationalistic newspaper where it's like very gruesome pictures of everybody that got murdered that day, and you were the one taking the pictures of people getting murdered all the time, which just seeing them, the picture is kind of traumatic. I can't even imagine being like in the place where a murder was committed like 30 minutes ago, and you have to be there taking pictures, probably maybe sometimes even before the police gets there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we were there before the police, and the police get crazy, like, "How you doing?" I don't know. We were looking for that, but it's crazy because at first it was a shock for me. Like, I don't want to do that, and I have to find my own way to show that, and my and and also that my chief asked me for that, right? So I have to offer something that he could be like, okay, this is acceptable, like, okay. So I have to figure it out how to do my stuff and also give him what he wants. It was really crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and kind of dangerous too, right? Like, what if
Yeah,
you're in
totally.
this
I
place,
was
somebody
afraid.
just got murdered, and maybe the killer's there. Maybe the killer's there. You're like checking you out, taking pictures. I don't know. I mean, sounds kind of
Yes.
dangerous to me.
Yes, exactly. I was a girl with a camera. And also, Ecuador is very dangerous in some ways. Like you can go out and walk with your camera because it's too much. You can do that. Like here, I can do it in Madrid. I love that. Like you can walk. The freedom is something that nothing can taste. It's really, really nice to be here for that. But there it was really crazy. I always go with a journalist too, so I have backup back in that day, so I feel like confident in certain way, but you have to be aware all the time. And I remember when I was in these scenes, people say, "Don't be afraid of the dead. Be afraid of the living." Okay, okay, okay. Just have
Isn't
to
that
be slow.
the catchphrase of like, what's this show, the zombie show, The Walking Dead? I think that's what they say in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so you did that for a while. Now you're in Madrid, and you're
Yes.
working there, and you're also working on writing a book, and you're also working on, like, you just got accepted to this Master Chef show, so you're gonna be cooking
Yes.
a lot.
Yes, yes, I am applying again. I used to 2 years ago I applied, and then I was in the show, but at that time I was other person. I was so shy. I'm still shy. I'm a nervous person, and I'm trying to control that, right? And I'm 33 years old now, so I don't feel I I don't know. I see myself as a little girl. Like I like to play, and now that I'm 33, I'm figuring out that I have to be a woman too. So I'm trying to play with the girl and to be the woman. So it's the time that I can show that I can do my magic. I have my magic, my personality, my gift. I love cook, for example. So and I want. I really, really want to have my own restaurant here in Madrid. So I am applying that for it's like I want
Mm,
to make that dream come true. You know,
got
it's
it.
an opportunity these days. It's very hard with the COVID. I try to set up a restaurant here in Madrid with my friend, but it's really difficult these days for the COVID and all the things that is happening in the world. But I think this is a good opportunity, so I can show my art too. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And then,
Besides the writing and the pictures, I'm trying um, to appreciate the time that the COVID gave us to try to, I don't know, to express myself in several ways, like not stop myself from being, you know.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, I do medicine, but I like the podcast. I like playing guitar. I like running. I like just, like, I don't know, eating. I'm not much of a cook. I'm not much of a cook, but I kind of like, I appreciate food. I certainly do
Of
appreciate.
course, everyone appreciates food. It's I don't know, it's a pleasure. It's really, really good. I love to cook for other people and see their faces when they are eating. Like, are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. It's a language of love. Like you care other people through food. That we need to eat, but it can be a pleasure too and make us happy. You know, it's like that's my thing with the cooking thing. It's my thing. I don't know, but. Uh, I don't know. Sometimes I don't. I can't do it for me all the time because sometimes I don't know how to take care of myself. But if I have some people, my friends are in home, I like to cook for others and makes me feel uh, good. Like share is I don't know, something that makes you feel expansive in a way. I don't know. Sometimes I can do it for me, but I'm trying to learn to take care of myself through that.
Now, tell me about this book. I know it's a book about your life, and the name
Yeah.
in Spanish is Romina de Leones y otras fieras. So, right, like that would be,
Romina,
well,
no, Romina es la niña, pero el título sería, the title will be La niña de los leones y
right,
otras fieras.
right. So the girl, so the girl belonging to lions and other wild beasts.
Yeah. Well,
So,
tell me what you think, please.
so where's that name coming from?
Well. I don't know. I used to grow up with lions, also tigers, big dogs, deers, horses. I love animals, and I
Okay,
think
wait,
I'm
wait. When you say that, what do you mean? Like you were raised with lions? Like were you in a zoo or were the lions around? Like were they in a cage? Like What?
No. It wasn't a cage. It was in the house. Like I used to live with these animals in my house. I used to sleep with lions. I used to do everything with my animals. I used to communicate with them. I used to talk with them after school. It's like my life was surround these animals. My dad used to love and he loves animals, and he rescued some lions from circuses. So he bring these animals to our house, so we raised them, and in a certain way the lions and the tigers raised me too. It was very beautiful. I started to develop a language of love through this animal instinct or vision. I don't know how to say it. It's like the language of the animals, right?
Okay, so did it never happen that they try to eat you?
No, we play a lot, and we play a lot hard too. We used to play with the tiger that he hunts me, and it was really strong. It was really crazy because we run into the field, and he just grabbed me and only kissed me. He could do that. He could like bite me and kill me, but I'm here. We used to play it like that. It was hard. It was really hard. It was wild. No, it's not hard. It's wild.
Wow. And
But
then,
it was beautiful. Like you, in internet, you can saw videos of lions when they see again they're human, right? And they run like crazy, and if you notice that they do this with their heads, like in the head of the human, that they need to feel your face. I love that. It's a very wild play um, thing that they have.
wow.
It was
I mean,
really beautiful.
sounds beautiful, but it also sounds scary as fuck.
But they raised as your family, and they were my family. So I assumed that they were my family, and I was like their child too. I was. I don't know how to say that. I how do you say? I trust them. I trust them. I totally trust them. I was a child also, so maybe in that time I was unable to see the fear, right? I was,
Mhm.
but I trust. I trust.
And how old were the tigers? Like, how old did you hang out with them?
Like big, like big with the all the hair. It was. That's what I say. It was a hard game. My dad used to have all the his arms with, I don't know how to say it. The scratch with the how do you say cross
Oh, the claws, yeah.
the claws and the and the teeth. It was really really hard, but they
Wow.
were playful. They want to play and love and share.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah,
Have you seen that Netflix show, The Tiger
yeah,
King?
yeah, yeah. The tiger one, right?
Yeah. And then there's some people that are taking care of the tigers, and one of them gets his whole arm eaten by
Yeah, that
one
was
of them.
crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, we know that, and back that time, my dad used to talk with how do you say, the domador,
Yeah, the trainer.
the trainer. We receive advice from them. Like there are some stuff that you never do, like you can't do. Like if you put the foot, you can be around. Like you have to work back, and that's it. Like there's some stuff that you can't do, and you know it. And there's some stuff you can do if you want to control the lion, and try to make him understand that you are in charge. There's some rules you have, of course. You need to follow that rules like very closely. It's very carefully.
Oh, what are
Of
the
course,
rules?
it's danger in a way. Of course, my dad told me that very very clear. Like you can do all those stuff.
And what are the rules to show that you're the boss?
Yeah, well, the rules is an attitude. It's how you treat the animal in a certain way. You can play with them, but in a point you have to take full responsibility. And it's like I'm the one in charge. It's something you do with the nose, with your finger in the nose, like, hey, stop. Like, okay, I'm in charge, and they calm down.
Mm,
But it's a language.
interesting.
Yeah,
Wow, that sounds like that sounds like a wild childhood.
yeah,
Sounds
well,
like fun though. Sounds like a lot
yeah,
of fun.
exactly. I used to train lions. It's like, but in my daily life, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then of course you're gonna go. The next natural thing will be to go some other crazy shit, or like like taking pictures of people dying,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
or
Something
recently murder.
crazy or accidents. Like my first day of job in Quito, when I moved to Quito, was when a airplane crashed into a building. It was my first day of work there. So it was like really crazy. It's like go, 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 and I okay, how I'm going to do to go there? And you have the police, the army. It was really crazy. It was a plane crash in a building, right? I remember I climbed something and I get into the building. I get there. It was really crazy. I feel so. I didn't notice like I was climbing a hill to get into the building. It was really crazy. And when I get there, the plane was still on. You can hear the
Wow.
sound of the and when the army noticed I was there, they were so angry. And I noticed that I was I were very respectful. But
Like you could have died. Like that thing could
yeah,
have
exactly. It
blown
was very
up.
dangerous. It could explode. Exactly.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
So,
but
sounds like you
it's
there
crazy.
are some sounds like there are some things about danger that you just like that you're like,
I
okay, I
didn't
guess that if
notice.
I die. Oh, you didn't notice. Like you were like you thought you were okay.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's for the lion thing, you know. I didn't notice the, the
The
danger.
danger.
Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
that interesting? So okay, so sounds like there's a couple instances where there was maybe potential danger, but it's also your tolerance to danger,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like when with these lions, I mean, they never try to eat you, and
No.
so you feel like okay, it's gonna be fine, and then you correlate that to your life. Okay, there's
Yeah,
a level of danger that I can get myself into, and it should be fine as long as
exactly.
I
Exactly.
keep my shit together. And
Exactly.
yeah, which is interesting. Like it may work for people. I mean, have you gotten yourself like into like that with people?
Like what you mean? I don't understand the question.
Oh, like so. Okay, so let me take back. This is psychiatry, like of me
Yeah.
thinking. So okay, when we're little kids, we really are assimilating as much information as we can of the world and how the world works, and we at some point when we're a little bit older, we're not assimilating as much anymore, and what we do instead is that we create a model of our reality based on our childhood, and we act according to that model of reality.
Yeah.
So so this is like a hypothesis that I'm creating right now. Like, could it be that when you relate to people, and maybe like you would be relating to people that others would feel like, oh, that sounds like a dangerous person you're involving yourself
Yeah,
with.
no, that's it. That yeah, that happens to me. Of course, that happens to me. And we used to talk about that before, and that was the comparison from the first part of the Girl with the Lions. You know, because in a certain way, I transfer that to people, right? And I get myself into very scary situations in relationships and also in friendships. And of course, the thing is that I have to be aware of that and not put myself in danger anymore. I'm a seeker. I feel that I have to search all the time, and that is one of the things that my instinct asks me for go farther, but I have to choose where to go, right?
Right.
And that's the different thing that's the thing I want to do in a different way, from the little child I used to be, that doesn't understand the danger, the wild beast.
You know, it's so interesting because what I'm thinking right now is that what you said, right? Like the lions would go and you would play, and it was very well understood that it was a game. It was a rough game, but it was a
Yes,
game. And at
yes,
the end
exactly.
of it, the lion would not eat you, right? Like it would like be very
Yeah,
loving. Like of course, there's always the possibility that if the lion wanted to do
yes,
this, he could or she could. I don't know if it was a female lion or a male lion, but when with humans it's it could be that I'm sure like, of course there's
yeah,
humans that exist that can play a little bit tougher, you know,
yeah,
but while at the same time very loving. and and maybe it's hard to tease out the difference between a person that can be playing tough and a person that can be tough because of trauma maybe, or can
yes,
be
exactly.
tough because of like yeah, like vulnerability, insecurities, etc. And then it may seem like the same thing, but it's not like the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not exactly. Well, it's very hard to be to express that, because I don't want to give details, right? Because
Right,
it's
right,
my private life. But of course, I think I transferred this vision when my family used to rescue these little animals, like, and I transferred that sensation to other people's. Like, uh, I can sense when someone is a scary animal, a little animal that it's scared. Uh, of society, of something, like I empathize with that, I have that compassion, and I make this connection with that people. But it's the other way, it's dangerous too, but I, in some way, I want to trust in the same way I used to trust with the lions, that they don't going to eat me, right?
right,
Because I think the animals has this natural order, right? And they are not mean.
right,
They are not in a trauma or something, right? But
right.
people are. But some people are, and I used to get myself in some crazy trouble because of some people, and that's the way, I don't know how to say it, but I really sense the fear in those situations. So
Mm,
I aware right now that uh, I have to go back. No, I don't know if the word is that I have to take back this transfer I made. No, in sense, some other people, I don't know, the, you know, I understand what I mean, right?
right,
But I don't know if I have to take back that transfer or something, but I have to be more in a human way and take care of myself and recognize myself as a human, and use that animal language, but not in people, because I can't rescue people. Nobody can rescue other people, and you have to be so aware when you are in danger, right?
right.
There's some rules that you can go further, and I cross that rules with some relations,
Mm,
with my, for example, partners. Uh, so I'm trying to figure it out, that and how the girl with the lion affect me in my relations these days, right? It's like,
yeah, yeah.
it's
I see
not
what you're
like I
saying.
want to go back, but I have to heal that and make it in my, like, I don't know, like, use it in a good way, not
Hmm.
in a dangerous way for me anymore. I don't know if you understand anything that I
I
said,
do.
because I
No,
try to.
I do see what you're saying, and like a word that you brought up that is like in my mind right now is that you're taking care of them, right? Like it's different. One thing is to be playing, another one is to taking care of them. Like it doesn't seem like when you were playing with lions, you were taking care of them. Of course, you were in the sense that you were giving them food, but then in the moment you were playing, right? Like when you think of a
But you
dynamic,
offer them like a habitat, right? You offer them
yes,
a family, a habitat. You offer them that. Like when I saw other people in the same situation, of course, seeing through this girl's eyes, right? That the
Mhm.
girls connect with the animals. You can see that in society, and you feel the same way, and you want to. I used to wants to give that to that person, right? But it's not the way. You can't save anyone but yourself, right? Like
Right.
now
Right.
I'm on that.
Okay, so the book's gonna be about this whole thing. Like, so it's
Yes,
gonna
it's
be
your complete journey.
okay. So it's your journey, like the journey of your life. How,
Exactly.
and we kind
I
of
want
like
to do it like a very poetical way, but not so technical. I want to be something more. I don't know, like a like oh, even a child can read it. Like I don't want to
Mhm.
get into technical terms, even though I
Right.
need to as manage them, right?
Right. You need to like understand them to know what it is that you're gonna be talking about. And but maybe you don't, right? Like you can also speak in metaphors all the time,
Exactly, exactly.
and as long as like it feels true to what you're saying. And you're a very intuitive person, so I don't think I'm excited. I'm looking forward to you finishing that book so I can
Thank
read it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's cool. That's like it's kind of trippy how things that happen in our childhood correlate to our relationships, and in terms of our relationship with animals. Like that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy. I
um
have to figure it out after because I used to I don't know how to say. I was married and my marriage ended really bad.
okay.
And after that, I have to go to therapy. After my marriage end, I have to go to therapy. I decided to go to so one of my mother's and sister's therapist, and I know that I knew by the time that she will really understand me because she knows all my background, right? The therapist knows all my background, so she tried to make me connect how things in my childhood, like dealing with lions, and I used to wear like a lion lion's trainer, tiger's trainer when I was a child. That was really crazy. So she can she made me she made me realize that like I transferred that to my relationships.
Mm. And it's
That's
also
the
like,
way I figure it out.
and well, this doesn't have to be like a therapy session, but what I'm thinking right now is that, I mean, if I have a daughter or a son, and I know that I like saving lions, and I know these guys are dangerous. I mean, I don't know that I would like just throw the lion in my house and let all my children play with them, right? Like that's another thing that we have not talked about at all.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I think my mom was really scared by that time because some days she asked me like, "Where you been?" And I was sleeping with the lions. It's like for me it's very normal, and for her was like, "No, it's really crazy. You can't do that. It's very dangerous. Like you can be alone with them." And but never was never a limit for me. Like
Wow.
they were my family. I was with them all the time. But my dad loves animals and he trusts them. My mom was a little bit scared of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, okay, but so you're in Madrid. You left Ecuador and you're living now. Madrid's beautiful.
It's
It's beautiful.
amazing. I love
Um,
Madrid. You were here
yeah, that
the
was
one
that was
year ago.
that was like November a year
1
ago,
year.
right? Like almost exactly 1 year ago was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
Like
the
11 days.
11 days. Yeah, because I wasn't in. I flew from Athens, and I know that the marathon was in November, and I flew right
Yes,
after.
exactly. I think it was the 10, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I love your neighborhood. You have all these
Yeah,
flamenco
I
bars.
love my neighborhood. It's a really beautiful because it's like a small town, but in the big city. Like I have very near from here the Gran Via, the
Mhm.
best beer, the Grand Wild. I don't know how to say it in English. How you compare that, the Gran Via?
Um, so the Gran Via, what is the Gran Via? I don't know what that is.
It's this big street with the big station.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. So I don't know that I can fully. I guess it would be like kind of like a Fifth Avenue. I don't think that there it would
It's
in.
something like that. Like it's like have a small neighborhood, a small town, but you have the Gran Via so near. Everything is there. You can do whatever you want at the time that wherever you want. Like if I want to go and buy ice cream at 3 a.m., I can do that. If I want to go to a club at 6 a.m., I can do that. I don't do it, but you can do whatever you want. And I have my community, like my friends work in the cafeterias or the shops downstairs, and my neighbors also are like part of a small community. We help each other. We spend a lot of time uh, together. It's very beautiful. Like I have my small family around. Like you, I remember when you came. I was like, "Hey, everybody! He's my
Oh yeah,
friend."
that was a lot of fun. Yeah, you knew everybody. You knew the chefs of the restaurant, like
Everyone.
from your neighborhood. You knew like the homeless people around outside the street that were friends with you, and like we hung out with them for a little bit. Like you knew
Yeah.
every single person in like 50 yards from
Yeah,
your place.
exactly. I love that here in Madrid because not everybody is from here. It's like, I think most of the people are in my same situation. They are alone here, and we are trying to, I don't know, find our place, and we share some things or, I don't know, different tastes, but we can share. It's like, I have friends for I don't know, from Colombia, Venezuela, I don't know, from every part of the world. Yeah, I have my small communities, like my small family.
You know what? That's so
It's
interesting because
really nice to
you're
live here.
what you're saying is beautiful. In the ones on the one side, it kind of is like New York in the sense that everybody that comes to the city comes, or not everybody, but the great majority of people that come to New York come alone, and they
Exactly.
try to make their lives here and try to create a new life for themselves. And then you make some
Yeah,
friends in the
exactly.
city, etc., etc. But I think you're an exception to the rule. Here in New York or in the US in general, people are very lonely and they don't make a lot of friends. And there's a lot of depression and there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of social anxiety, especially here in the US compared to Europe. I think. I guess I don't know the epidemiological data of Europe that well, but on the other side, they have people like you that you really do go and make a point of remembering that everybody is in the same boat as you are. And then you end up making a lot of friends
Yeah,
just by
exactly.
being a little bit open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes, I think I'm open to that because if I see someone every day, 3 days in a row, I can say hello to you every day because I saw you every day. Who are you? It's like it's my way. Or I don't know. It's like if I'm going to see you every day around, I want to know who you are, what you like. What can we share, right? Like I'm alone, you're alone. Let's be friends. Let's be family. Let's share. Let's share points of view too. It's like I don't know, to be more expansive.
Yeah, you do have this openness that definitely helps enjoy life a little bit more just by
Yeah,
relating to people. I remember that we were in that restaurant. It was like 2 a.m. It was closed, and the chef was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll just keep it open
yeah,
for you,"
exactly,
which is
exactly.
which is amazing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's nice. I don't know. I
yeah.
like to take care of other people. My home is very open. My home is always open to my friends. I live, you know, where I live in a plaza. It's very beautiful. If you cross this street, it's a very important street here because are all the stores. are there, and it's
Mhm.
I don't know how to say it, but it's only for walking. It's not
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah, cars
Cars are
can
not
like it's
available,
yeah.
right? So
Mm.
my house is very you can see it from every point in this corner, right? So people is like, hey, can I go? Oh, but yeah, of course, come. Like, I receive people in my place almost every day. I share with my friends, with my neighbors. I like to read tarot, and people
Oh, tell me about
always
that.
came. Yes, people always came for that, for the tarot. It's like, I want to ask something. Oh, and we have a really nice moment. Like, we can share and talk in other language. Like, the tarot is a really a special language, very artistic, and the symbols are really important for me. I love alchemy. It's another way to talk, right? So I think I like to be open in that way, so I can share.
Okay, I want to hear about tarot, and I want to hear about the alchemy. What do you
Okay.
mean? Tell me about it. Sounds like I need to know about alchemy before I know about tarot.
Okay. Well, I think you asked me before about my aha moments, right? Like,
Hmm.
my aha moments. I think my aha moment was when I found the alchemy. It's like, aha, because, like I said, I used to have this language of love, and a language in all the way of from the animals, right? So I don't understand the things in a common language. That's why I can write so openly, but I can't take pictures, right? I have other kind of language. It's very maybe it's more I don't know how to say it, symbolic.
Hmm.
So I discovered alchemy, and I understand it. I feel it. It's like, oh, okay, I understand that way, because I can read psychology, for example. But if I read it in alchemy in a parallel way, I will understand it better, and I will feel it, and I will feel free to represent it in an artistic way, or I don't know.
So
You
what
know,
is what is alchemy?
what is alchemy? It's about transmute. How do you say transmutar?
Yeah,
Transmute.
transmuting. Yeah.
Okay. But more than that, I like the vision of the alchemist. The alchemist saw their lives, like our life, like a big obra, opus. How do you say?
I have
The
no clue.
opus, the obra. It's like obra de arte, but it's not. Understand what no?
Is that like the
I
work
don't
of
know the
art?
word
Is
in
that what you're
English. The
saying? Work of
Latin
art.
is opus.
Okay, the opus.
Opus. The opus magnum. Like, it's a I don't know, it's in artistic way. They don't feel they themselves like artists, but
Okay.
it's more like artifice. I don't know how you say it, artifice. It's not an artist. It's when you give your life to art and you are an instrument, right?
Okay. Right, you
Yeah,
become an instrument to create this magnum opus that I was just
exactly.
googling, and
Exactly. And the
and then
opus is your life, and you're searching for the truth in some
got it.
way.
So it's a spiritual path. You're talking about
Yes,
a
because
spiritual
the
path.
truth is the conscious is the goal. The goal is the sun, the light, the conscious, the one and everything. It's God, right? They saw their life like a big obra. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
it in English.
No, yeah, like a work, like a big work of art, and you
Yes,
know,
like a big piece of art. It's like you put your life in that. You put your life in that. I'm going to do the best, and I will always search for what? For light, for love, for meaning, for God. It's like I want to seek all the time.
yeah, from my understanding of what you're saying and from what I have read, maybe like in a couple of like Wikipedia articles about alchemy, it's a sort of a spiritual tradition, and it really relates to what you're saying in the sense that it's about transforming yourself, right? Like the what we have seen in the movies, like some guy trying to transform like a metal into gold, but
Yeah,
this is more like really your spirit transforming
exactly.
yourself into gold, and gold being in touch everything with the universe. I think that's is that right? Is that what
Yes,
what you're trying
exactly.
to
It's
say?
like you can transform your. I don't know how to say it because it's very technical, and I used to read
Hmm.
it in Spanish. It's the how you transform your vulgar metals into the goal, right? It's like the journey to find that recipe for goal. That the thing with the goal is like you can actually do it, but the goal wouldn't be a state like goal for much longer. Like it's like seconds that they transform again into their previous form. And the thing is like you can never say I am perfect, or because you have to be go further than that all the time. It's like when you think you got it, no, it's you have to go and go more. It's your life. Your goal is your life. Like you
I
can
think,
have it, like you go and search it after death. Actually, it's
yeah,
like
it's
you
like
have to
never ending. It's like, yeah,
never ending,
I
never
and
ending
I,
transformation.
mhm, and I
And
agree with
in
that.
alchemy, they use a lot of art, astrology, astronomy, and they love art. They love art, symbols, and chemical compounds and that stuff. So I cook. I used to see myself like an alchemist when I'm doing my stuff. I like to, I don't know, to play that. I love art. The vision of the alchemist, I appreciate because it reunite a lot of things or practices. Like I don't have to define myself in one area. I can use everything, every tool to go where I want to be with the, I don't know, in my path of, of
Self-discovery.
understanding, exactly, of consciousness.
I really like what you said when you said it's like an eternal search that it never really ends. And this is something that a lot of the time we think we have all these goals in life, right? Like we think, oh, I'm gonna get that job, or I'm gonna make that certain amount of money, or I'm gonna like get this, do that, get married, have a child, have a grandchild. I don't know. Like we have all these goals in life, and we think that as soon as we get that goal, we're gonna be so happy, and
Exactly.
it's gonna be the end of all our suffering. When that's not quite right. Like it never really lasts, no matter how good the thing that you get is, and really just embracing life as an
Exactly.
adventure to learn
Exactly.
and do better all the time until we
Exactly.
die. I
Exactly. It's like recognize the beauty of being alive, right? And I'm going to do my best in this time because it's not forever. I have this time. It's my play right now. It's my match. I have to do it right now. Okay. It's like, I think alchemists um, find, I don't know, that way to saw it, like to never stop searching, right? Because
Mhm.
the universe is so big that if we are only I don't know, focus on what I have to do in the world, like you said, I have to have that money and family at that time, blah blah blah, but I'm not happy, I'm not looking for the meanings that makes me feel alive and makes me appreciate this amazing, incredible universe. And the fact that we are alive, of course life is very difficult these days, but if we don't do the effort to go further on and look further, we'll be suffering because there's much more than that, right? It's much more than that. You have to go and look.
Yeah, I feel like every time I think that I'm getting too comfortable, I start getting a little bit bored and a little bit depressed, and 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 from that it always comes this moment where I feel like no no no, that I push it a little bit more, and every time I push it a little bit more and get out of my comfort zone a little bit more, just life becomes amazing for a while,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. It's exciting.
Yeah, it becomes more exciting, and I grow as a person, and I start seeing things like my relationships with everybody around me, and the things surrounding my life just become a little bit deeper. and I understand them from a different angle that I maybe didn't understand before, and then I get
Yeah,
comfortable with that angle, and then I get comfortable with the way of handling my relationships in this new way, and then same thing happens, right? Like, okay, now I'm used to it. Now I'm getting a little bit
exactly.
bored. Now I'm getting a little bit depressed. So let's push it again, and so on and so forth until you die. And then, but really, like I'm saying, quote unquote, a little bit bored and a little bit depressed. But even this boredom or this depression is like happiness in contrast to what I would have thought, like way more happy, like significantly stronger happiness than what I would have thought happiness was 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's a better state of mind, right? It's a better state
Hmm.
of mind and comprehension or consciousness. Like
Yeah.
you saw yourself, you see yourself I don't know, in other step. You are not in the same um, storm,
Hmm.
right? You can like you can go through the storm.
Yeah. It's more of a little bit more of a lake, even if it looks like a storm in the outside.
Yeah, exactly. But you can. The thing is, like, get through it and go, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying. I think that we're clicking exactly what we're trying to say. Now, so from alchemy, you were talking about tarot. So you read
Yes,
what do you read?
that's my way to share the alchemy with others, maybe because
Okay.
I start to study the tarot, but I noticed that the tarot is something very intimate. You have to understand the pictures and the symbols, the colors. It's very artistic. The message is very artistic. You can simplify them, right? So
Mhm.
when I'm playing tarot with other people, I try to explain them how I saw how I see the card, and in a way that they can connect and show them too, right? It's very beautiful. It's my way to share the alchemy. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
They are
So
they are like special messages from the I don't know how to say it, like gold world. I know it's like
yeah.
a very pure message that doesn't change in time, right? This is an essential, an
Hmm.
archetype, right? It's the word.
Yeah, I think that so if we take a step back and talk a little bit about the tarot cards, they tell the story. So there's like a journey that they tell a story, right? Like, and it's this is kind of, or at least very similar to Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. So you talk about the hero's journey, and these cards say different things about the journey,
Yeah,
and they also have other stuff, if I'm correct, like not only the hero's journey but also elements and numbers, and everything
exactly.
has a meaning, and then you can utilize this as a way from the psychological standpoint. We would talk about it from like a thematic appreciation test. And what that means is that you can project your unconscious mind into the images of what's going on, and then you use the context of what's happening in the life of the
Yes,
person, and your understanding of this thematic appreciation, and your understanding of the hero's journey, and use them all together to kind of like understand what's the struggle the person is going through. Now,
exactly.
so, but what do you do, like when you read this thing? Are you like reading people's future? Like, what are you doing,
No,
Romina?
of course not. I like to read the people's date of birth.
Okay.
So I pick 5 cards from their birthday, and I talk about their personality and some stuff, right? But like you said, the tarot is the journey, and in this case, is the mad, the el loco, the crazy,
Mhm.
and it's his journey to find freedom. And of course, in every step in this transformation, he's going through some hard stuff. Like he has to learn something. He has to learn what are his tools and how to use them and how to I don't know figure out things in life, in a spiritual way also, and the way he choose. So it's like the crazy in his journey of the freedom, but it also shows you, um, I don't know, the parts of this journey, right? The chapters of this journey, and people can relate with them because we, we are in this path too. We are in this in this life too. So people connect with the card, and they assume the advice the card uh, give them, right? Like if you are in this situation, the car will advise you this, right? This is an essential thought, but it's not a closed thought. It's very open, right?
Very
So
open
people can connect.
for
Yes,
interpretation and
it's
very symbolic.
exactly, exactly. It's an interpretation.
That's cool.
But it's cool. It's cool. Very cool. People like it. People like it. I used to read a lot to my friends and friends of friends, and I began to be like the witch of Fuencarral. Fuencarral is my street.
Oh yeah, you're the witch of your street.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I am the witch of my street. Yes.
Uh, all right, all right. Um, wow. And okay, so what would you tell people? Let's say now that we're talking about this, I don't think a lot of people know a lot about this card reading situations. So let's say there's a person that wants to get their cards read while walking down the street. Like, what do you recommend them to do when seeking somebody to do that?
I don't know. What do you mean? I don't know. I don't understand.
It sounds like what you're doing is not like saying I'm gonna read your future or anything like that. It's
No,
more
of course not, because the people, it's it's how they live the situation. But right now, it's like what I'm dealing with. But right now, it's like
right.
it's like I show you like what are
Right.
you doing right now, because you can connect that. I told you what the card said,
Hmm.
but you connect that. It's like you make
Yeah,
the connection
it's kind of like I may be misunderstanding, but what I think you're saying is that you're not like telling people that you're gonna read their future or anything like that. You're most like you're really
It's like more
focused.
like reading your energy, not the future. It's more reading your energy right now.
Yeah, and it feels like it's more like almost I would dare to say like your psychological energy to the point where like somebody's telling you kind of like how they're feeling about their lives, and then they kind of like project their unconscious mind into the cards, and then you can understand by looking at what Carl Jung would say something like the shadow, like what is that thing that they're not seeing in themselves,
Mhm.
and through the cards, like through the symbolism of the cards, you can use that as a tool to allow people to see that one thing, that blind spot that they're not seeing
Exactly.
in themselves, and using that blind spot as a way to like, hey, this is something you should pay attention to in your life right now. It's kind of like a therapy session. Sounds
Yes,
like
exactly. It's very therapeutic in that way because people connect and express, and try to make a conclusion at the end. It's like, oh, I like this advice from this card. I think I have to do this. They came with a conclusion, right?
hmm hmm I like it. Sounds like
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Next time we meet, you should read my cards.
Yes, but we used to do it, right? I think we do it. We do it one time.
I think we did it one time. I remember we
Yeah, we
did.
did it
Yeah,
one time.
it was
Yes,
fun. Yeah,
it was fun.
it was. All right, Romina, it was lovely talking to you today.
We have to talk about other stuff like love and drugs.
All right,
You
okay.
asked me.
Tell
No,
me.
no, no, no. It was a joke. It was a joke. Because I think drugs are your theme too, right?
Yes, so I am training in doing psychedelic assisted psychotherapy.
Wow.
So specifically psychedelics, and specifically psilocybin, and
I love
specific
psychedelics.
And specifically in the use of psychotherapy for the existentially distressed, terminally ill cancer patients. That is something that I'm focusing on. And and I really hope that it comes through, that we can do this study. I'll find out in the next few months. And if we do it, I mean, we'll see what the data shows, but so far it's very promising. And
Yeah.
and it does seem to be helping people. Hopefully we can replicate this in a bigger study with very rigorous evidence. And
Wow.
yeah, that's something that I am very much looking forward to, and I'm really hopeful that it'll be a positive thing. Now it sounds like you enjoy psychedelics yourself as well.
Yeah.
So like in what way,
Let
like
me ask you something. When you are in a session, I think you use symbols too, right? Because if you are in a psychedelic mode, it's like you can see stuff, right?
yeah, so when somebody's going through a session, a lot of there's a lot of stuff happening. First of all, there's a preparation. There's a like 2 or 3 or even more sessions just to prepare the person for the experience of the of taking the
Yeah,
psychedelic.
exactly. You have to be
Yeah,
prepared for that.
yeah. And then when they go, and actually we talk about this. There's this with William Richards. He's a psychologist working in John Hopkins, the Center for Psychedelic and Consciousness Research, and he talks about it like way more accurately and beautifully and technically than I could ever do. But what the purpose of this session is to some extent to get a mystical experience, at least in the
Yeah,
setting of
exactly.
cancer patients. And in order to achieve this mystical experience, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to trust the therapist. You
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
trust, you
Faith.
got to be trusting this person, and that in itself can be hard because in general it's a person that you just met. And then another thing you want to do is feel very comfortable. So the 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 places where these sessions take place tend to be very house-like. So it's gonna look it'll be in the middle of the hospital, but it will look like a living room.
Comfortable, right? Like,
Like a comfortable living room, and you'll be laying down in a couch, and they're gonna give you a blanket. And both therapists, we do it with two
I would
therapists.
love to do that.
Yeah, and we do it with two therapists. One of them's a male, one of them's a female in general, and they're very. They're, one of them is always with you throughout the 8 hour sessions, just like sitting there with you. If you want water, they'll bring you water. If you need to
Eight-hour
eat something,
session. Wow.
yeah, exactly. And then they put some headphones in you, and then you get these headphones, and then you start listening to a pre-programmed playlist that is
Okay.
meant to guide you through the different stages of the experience of having taken the psychedelic. So a lot of the time, answering your question, you're mostly gonna be quiet, and then when you aren't quiet, when you start talking, sometimes it'll be out of pure realizations, and you really want to share those realizations with the therapist. Sometimes you may be a little bit scared. You may be
Yeah.
you may be saying whatever you want to be saying, but you may be saying that as a reaction to want to escape that thing that you want to that ideally you want to deal with.
Okay.
So sometimes what will happen is that your fear, whatever that fear is, or your unconscious shadows will kind of like come up, and you will be very scared to like confront them or just
Yeah.
be in like just go to them. And that's what the therapist will encourage you to do, to like like they'll reassure you that you're okay, and they'll encourage you to go and do that thing. Like if suddenly like a huge snake comes and presents themselves in front of you, you want to go through the mouth of that snake and then turn around and look from the eyes of the snake, and those kinds of things, in order to overcome that fear that is coming. And shortly after overcoming that fear, what tends to happen is that people have a mystical experience. And when they do have that mystical experience, that is what is correlated with a significant reduction in depression or a significant reduction in anxiety. What that
Yeah.
means in a spiritual or esoterical way, I don't know. I don't think I can say right now. But what I can say is that it seems to be very helpful, and I'm very much looking forward to be able to replicate it
Okay.
in more patients, because if it does show what is has been showing, it has the potential to help a lot of people, and I would love to do that. But we have to do it the science way, you know.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
mhm,
Like very, you have to take care of the patient. But I think it's a very beautiful way to. I try to put myself in that situation, and I think it will give me a lot of relief, right? That you can figure out some stuff, and you can be, and you can go free, right? Like, maybe it helps with anxiety. I don't
mhm.
know. I think I visualize it in that way.
And then you also wanted to talk about love.
Love. That I put it in the questionnaire, but
Yeah.
because I think I'm in that journey, like to try to figure it out what love really means, right?
Mhm.
What what really means? How does it feel?
How
Who
does
can tell
love
you
feel?
that, right? Who can tell
Yes.
you that?
So
Like you have to go and figure it out and find it and try to do your best. And I think it's not an easy concept. I think it's more harder than we can imagine. So I'm trying to go through and try to understand love in like an absolute, right? Like you can have, like you can be so open that you feel love in a very open way, like very absolute way, like the comprehension of God, like very, very, very open. I try to go there and not to be in a, I don't know, in a, I don't know, in terms of society, what love is, right? I have this need to go further and
you know,
break all the rules of love, right? Like
break
remove
all
the
the
labels.
rules. What do you mean break all the rules?
More like that is like remove all the labels, like break the, I don't know, the cages of love, right? The and remove the labels, right?
Hmm.
Try to figure out a love in a very pure feeling, right? Like very love of, I mean, in everything, in every way, like for nature, for animals, for people, for everything that surrounds us, like the universe. Try to see love like a very beautiful order in life.
You know, you said a lot of things there, and this the words that stuck with me the most is that you're trying to comprehend it, that you're seeking, and then you're trying to do it like to comprehend the absolute, like that in itself is a sort of paradox, right? Because the,
Exactly.
if you're thinking about to comprehend something, it seems to me that you're thinking about the mind, and it seems to me, and if you're thinking about the mind, then it's impossible to comprehend something absolutely, because the mind deconstructs everything, and you need to separate multiple things in order for you to be able to speak about it or think about it, right? Like you need, if you want to think about a piece of cloth or a table, you have to know what it is that is not a table, and then you
Yeah.
just think of the table. If you want to speak about tomatoes, you gotta, like, you're separating the world from the tomatoes in order to like focus our attention on that specific thing. So I feel like if you're talking about something that is absolute, it can't be thought. It's
Yeah,
impossible
it
to
can be.
think.
It has to be a state, right? A state. Like
Yeah,
you can be in a state of love, and I don't know
yeah.
if I can say happiness, no, because life is hard in some ways. But if you can, of course, it's not only the mind, but you have to be very open, and in the way you learn some stuff, you can break that learn from before and go. I don't know,
The other thing that you say is seeking, and
seeking.
yeah, that you talk about seeking, and you've talked a lot about seeking through the
Yes, I'm
door.
obsessed with that. Maybe it's too much, but I'm obsessed. I'm really obsessed with that. Like I have to be. I see myself like a sailor. Like I have to go deep. I have to sail. I like that. I really like that. I
You
really like
know,
that. Like the meanings. I need to be the meanings very deep, right? Very deep. I can. I don't accept concepts very close. I like to be very open about that. It's not a it's not easy because you can confuse if I talk about in terms of love you can confuse them with I don't know open love, right? No, I'm trying to see as I'm seeking for the meaning of love and how to how to live in a state of love and connect, right?
so
uh
so then it comes back to the seeking how to do this, how to be there, like how do I look for that answer? And that reminds me of, so there was, I was in Quito once, and I met with this Buddhist monk. Well, this she wasn't a monk; she was a Buddhist practitioner, a Zen Buddhist practitioner. But she was also very old. I think she was in her 90s,
yeah.
and I think she was. I think she escaped World War II. She originally was from Austria, and she was old.
I went there too. She was really amazing.
Oh, you know her, like Vera de
Yeah,
Con.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was kind of like looking to to something similar, because it reminds me of what I said to her, in the sense that I was like in this search of, like in this search, and she asked me to draw. Like she gave me a piece of paper and she said, draw whatever you want, and I drew like a mountain and a hill and a road and a guy going through that road, and then she said, okay, that's kind of
The
pretty.
seeker
And then she said, what is this person missing? What does this person uh,
looking for.
what is what do they need to succeed in what they're wanting to do? And I drew a pair of glasses in this person. And then she asked me, why do you do that? And I said, well, I think that this person needs to find a way to see what is missing. Like they need to see what they need to find,
Exactly.
like 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 the truth, you know. And then she said, well, that's your problem. That's your problem. And I said, what do you mean?
Why?
And yeah, and she said, well, the problem, Christian, is that you're trying to see instead of just seeing.
Okay. I'm being.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. Of course. I'm trying to do that, but I think I need the mind too, right? I need the mind too to recognize that what I'm looking for and try to live also. Try to be there. Try to feel it, not only to know it, and instead feel it and being there, right?
What I can
It's
say
an
is,
exercise too.
say it again.
It's an exercise too, like to be there and feel it,
Yeah,
live in
yeah.
it, and recognize when you are living it. It's like stop your mind. Sometimes you have to stop your mind and feel it and being there, right? It's
I
part
am.
of. It's like they go together. The mind and the heart they have to go, and then it's not a competition, but they go together
Yeah,
in
they're a
view.
team. They're a team.
Yeah, exactly. A team, really good team.
Yeah. I had an amazing time talking with you. I'm still having an amazing time talking with you right now.
Thank you. Me
Yeah.
too. I was really afraid. I'm so sorry if I was so nervous that I began to talk like crazy, but sometimes I couldn't find the words, because I don't know, I'm not used to I don't know, to talk like this. It will be more easier to me in Spanish, but or
Of
more
course.
fluently. But thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry
But
for
no, don't be sorry. This was a beautiful conversation. And I do appreciate you did it in English. I know that Spanish would be so much easier to you.
yeah.
I just I just prefer doing it in English because I feel like more people can listen to it, you know.
Yeah, exactly,
If you do it in
exactly.
Spanish,
And you
we're
are in New York, of course. It's like, of course, you have to do it. I understand it.
yeah. So thank you for doing that. I know this wasn't very easy for you to
Yeah, thank
do.
you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll see you soon.